Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Ball IQ Podcast. I'm Tolu, Real Madrid fan, flying solo today. Nelson is not able to make it today, but he's here in spirit because he has given me a list of things that I should cover for his Chelsea side. So I'll be flying solo for him. Shout out Nelson, he'll be back soon. Um, Per usual, I'll take you through a recap of what happened last week, results and transfers. Do an IQ deep dive today. I'll be choosing the game, Real Madrid game versus Al Hilal. Take you to the player of the week. We'll take you to the goal of the week and the upcoming fixtures to come. So, thank you for joining. Per usual, please like, comment, subscribe, and show support, please. Um, so, Club World Cup started um, since the last episode, and I'm not gonna lie, it's better than I thought it'd be. Obviously, the crowds and the attendance is an issue, but the actual game feels like a diet World Cup, like the real World Cup. It feels like a diet World Cup or a diet version of the World Cup. Um, Obviously, the heat makes the game look different. Like usually, I mean, us fans of European football, we're used to seeing a little more fast-paced, direct football for all 90 minutes. But you can see the effect of the weather on the gameplay. But it's still been some great games, mostly great games, in my opinion. The ones that I've seen, the highlights I've seen, most of these games look good. I think that I know personally, I may have underestimated it a little bit, and I'm very, very excited from what I've seen so far. So I'll take you through some of the news and results around Club World Cup thus far. Firstly, I want to start here. I am not a fan of the referees announcing their VAR decisions to the crowd. It just feels very NFL-y. No disrespect to NFL, but I don't know. Maybe I'm being too old school, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, but I don't like it right now. Maybe it'll grow on me. I don't know, but right now I'm not a fan of it. So I just wanted to get that out the way really quick. But starting off with Bayern. Bayern beat Oakland 10-0. Bayern, come on, bro. Like, it's never that serious. 10-0. It's not that serious. Like, could have. Come on. Anyway, I guess they're being professional, but come on. 10 against part time footballers. I mean, well, yeah, when I say that, it probably should have been more, but again, 10-0 is just kind of crazy in a official tournament. It's not what you want to see. But they did. I mean, they beat who was in front of them, so you can't really blame them. PSG Atleti. PSG beat Atleti 4-0. PSG made Atleti look like they don't play in a top flight league. Like the dominance was kind of scary. I watching the game, and that's the game I watched. I didn't know why Diego Simeone is stuck with a two-man midfield, knowing that PSG's strength is in the midfield. I don't know why he was doing that. So he should have changed that. But they stuck with it and they got spanked. So PSG looked like they mean business. They look like they're rolling on from their Champions League. They are quadruple. They look like they're serious. So they'll be obviously a favorite to win this tournament. Chelsea beat LAFC 2-0. Nelson was at the game, and I watched the game. We were uh, chatting while he was in the stadium, and I mean, we both noticed the same things. I mean, obviously, he'll go deep into like the youngsters that came in, um, and for me, the main difference was usually it's the right back, either Reese or Gusto, inverting. This time in this game was Kukurea inverting. I thought that was kind of like just a different look that they gave LAFC. Not sure LAFC were expecting that. Um, Nico played like somebody that was under threat. Like his hold up play was fantastic. Great assist for Neto. Um, he played like okay, somebody's somebody just arrived, and that somebody's Liam Delap, Chelsea's new number 9. But Nico had, he made a statement, I thought, and Liam Delap also made a statement when he came in. Like Liam Delap just looked like a natural 9. Like his bending runs, his pace, he's powerful. He can pick a pass. He had an assist. Um, there was one move that he spun the defender, like made a run to the opposition's right channel, LAFC's right channel, and Cole Palmer slid him in, and he just decelerated and accelerated again and beat his man. I'm like, okay, this is a striker. This is a problem for the league. So it was good to see him also put on a show like 45 minutes, or no, he played less than 45 minutes, and he had an assist. He had an impact on the game. So that gives Chelsea um, options in the next season as to how they can play. They can play 4-diamond 4 with Nico and Delap. They can play their normal 4-3-3 with Nico on the left since Sancho's gone, and I don't know if they're signing Gittins anymore. So, um, so this to say, with Champions League football and Chelsea's progression, they kind of look serious. I'm not gonna lie. So shout out to Chelsea. Shout out Nelson. Nelson, I did justice, please. Um, Moving on, Fluminense and Dortmund 0-0. That game was a game of two halves. Fluminense was very, very strong in the first half, kind of dominated the first half. Dortmund grew into the game in the second half, and it was good to see Joe Bellingham play, you know, top level football for the first time. He looks. I'm surprised that like him and Jude Bellingham are not twins. Shout out Jude. They look like twins. They run the same. They call for the ball the same. They look the same. I don't know if they're the same height, the same build. Like it's literally the same person. Interesting that he chose the number 77. I don't know whether that would go into the next season, but I mean, nothing too crazy, of course, from the performance. But it was just good to see him, and I'll be looking forward to seeing more of him because I've only seen clips of him. I've never seen him play. That game was the first time I saw him play. So shout out to Joe Bellingham and looking forward to them. But shout out to Fluminense as well. I think not just them, the South American teams and the Mexican teams, um, they look very good. They're very aggressive, fast. There's flair in there as well. I think that they will also cause some problems for the top European teams, and what I mean from the first round of games that I've seen anyway. So shout out to Fluminense. There are some top players there as well. Thiago Silva is there. And by the way, as I'm going through all these results, I would be calling out some names in these, like, particularly these South American teams that you'd be like, oh, that's where he is. So Thiago Silva, I'm sure you know what Thiago Silva is in Fluminense. So good to see him. Flamingo beat Esperance de Tunis, Esperance of Tunisia, 2-0. Jorginho's there, and like we said last week, Felipe Luis is Flamingo's coach, which is crazy to think about for all the millennials listening to us. Um, and for people who are like who watch the MLS or fans of Atlanta United, Luis Araújo, who scored very very tidy goal, used to play for Atlanta United. So that's if you're wondering if they're the same, yeah, he's the same guy. So Flamengo won that game 2-0. Boca Benfica was an electric game, another game of two halves. Boca led 2-0. Benfica led equalized 2-2. The two goal scorers for Benfica were also Argentine, which is crazy, in Otamendi and Di Maria. So that was a nice little twist. Again, back to that's where he is. On this segment on that's where he is. Belotti plays for Benfica. When did that happen? I didn't know when that happened. I remember when Belotti was a hot prospect out of Torino, I believe, and I remember Manchester United wanted him at one point, and now he's playing at Benfica. Um, Another person that I didn't know where he was, I didn't think about until I saw him got a red off the bench was Ander Herrera. Who knew Ander Herrera plays for Boca Juniors? I need to pay attention more to South American League. That's what that's telling me. And crazy that both Belotti and Herrera got sent off in the game. Story writes itself, but fun game, beautiful goal. The first goal, particularly, I believe it's the first goal by Merentiel. I think I'm saying his name right. Was wonderfully worked from Boca Junior. He may win goal of the week, IQ finish of the week. Stay tuned to find out. Um, Another person that I thought was, I was like, oh, that's where he is, was Alex Telles. Who knew Alex? I didn't even know where he was. I thought he was in Saudi, but he's in Botafogo. Sorry, I said that wrong. Botafogo, and he had a nice assist, in an in swinger from a free kick, and somebody just needed to put a head on it, and it went in. And I mean, he's always had technique, so it was good to see him play, and good to see him have a performance like he did. Um, Another, again, just listing off players that I didn't know where they were until now. Felipe Anderson and Victor Roque play for Palmeiras. They played against Porto. Fabio Vieira was in Porto. I think I knew that. Arsenal's Fabio Vieira. I knew that he was in Porto. I just didn't think he was still in Porto. So he has their number 10 jersey too. So um, another, great to see them. And as a Real Madrid fan, it was great to see my old captain Sergio Ramos play for Monterrey in Mexico against Inter, and he scored, in typical Sergio Ramos fashion, a towering header off a corner to give his team the lead, Monterrey the lead, and Inter with a nice worked free kick equalized, game ended 1-1. But good to see Sergio Ramos play. And when I was watching that game, I mean, I saw Lucas Ocampos. La Liga watchers remember him from Sevilla. Um, I saw Sergio Canales, who's also a former Real Madrid player and former Sociedad player, former Betis player. He's also in Mexico. Who knew? So it was good to see them as well. And Monterrey could play some decent football. So looking forward to seeing how they cope this in this tournament. Um, so yeah, so a lot of fun games like today. Real Madrid tied 1-1 to Al Hilal. I'll be going a little deeper into that later on in the episode, but and Man City won as well 2-0. Um, he got a red card late, but I thought that was a little unfair based on my my um, my perspective anyway. Rico Lewis got sent off, kind of unfair, but yeah, so fun. Again, like I said in the beginning, I think the Club World Cup has started very, very well for me. I think that even though I feel for the players for like basically having no break. Um, I can't lie. I mean, I kind of like the tournament. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like it, so I don't mind it. Before I go into like quick transfers recap, I saw this and I wanted to touch on it a little bit. The Turkish league's disciplinary committee all resigned because of leaked messages about how they plan on dealing with Mourinho this next season. I thought that was funny. I mean, what's going on in Turkey, man? Like, that is kind of embarrassing for that kind of news to come out, to be plotting against a manager in the league that you're governing. That's not a good look at all. I'm sure anything goes wrong, Jose is gonna use this. He's gonna he's going to milk this to the end. So even more reasons to keep an eye on the Turkish league next season. Wherever Jose goes, man, the cameras have to follow because that guy is a walking story. Um, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that really quick. But on transfers, Mastantuno is confirmed with Real Madrid, but he's still playing for River Plate in the Club World Cup, so you can see him play in the Club World Cup. Techie player, left, very young, left-footed. Typically comes off the right wing, inverted like everybody else is. So very exciting, very exciting player. I want to see more of him. He drew a lot of. First thing I noticed is how brave he was on the ball and drawing a lot of fouls and things of that nature. So this is a great showcase to the world and to Real Madrid fans to see what exactly we're getting, because we've been seeing clips, most of us anyway, have been seeing clips. So it'll be good to see a series of 90 minutes, 70 minutes, whatever he plays, to see the real thing versus highlights and stuff. So he's being a confirmed Real Madrid player, so welcome. Um, KDB has been confirmed at Napoli. I like that move. KDB going to link up with Romelu Lukaku over there and Scott McTominay and all those guys. So I like that move. And Napoli is also rumored to be interested in Sancho. Sancho on the left is not bad. It's not bad. So I like what Napoli are rebuilding. Napoli are just taking all these, I don't want to say rejects, but all these talented players from kind of touchy situations, like just bringing them together and making a solid team. So if they look strong to try and retain the Scudetto again next year. Um, Thomas Frank has been confirmed as a Spurs coach. That's very, very good for Thomas Frank, very good for Tottenham. I think Daniel Levy came out and said, like, even though it was great to win a European trophy, the league is what they want. So I don't know if Thomas Frank will give them the league, but I imagine I think Thomas Frank is a good coach. I imagine he would not make them finish 17th. I mean, that I think is a safe bet. So um, curious to see again with Thomas Frank going there. And Buemo is now in limbo between United, Newcastle, if they're still interested, and Spurs because of Thomas Frank. So uh, they may be getting 2 for 1 there at North London, the white side of North London. Pogba looks like he's going to Monaco, which is fantastic, and I think Ansu Fati may be joining him there as well. It's great to see Pogba back, very talented player, obviously well decorated, and it's great to see. I mean that he's coming back into Europe, back into football from his injuries, to his suspensions. So hopefully, I mean, staying away from the game for that long, sometimes your body takes a while to kind of like get back in. So I hope no like injuries or anything like that befall him. And we all just want to see him play. So welcome back, Pog. Kyle Walker might be going to Fenerbahce to join, Jose over there. Uh, Andy Robertson might be going to Atleti. Andy Robertson just seems like an Atleti player. I know Atleti are also interested in Theo Hernandez from AC Milan, but I can see both of them actually playing for Atleti. Maybe if they play three in the back, Andy Robertson can play left center back and Theo Hernandez left wing back. I can see that happening easily. So I don't know if it's a case of one or the other. I think they can do with both. So we'll see how that pans out. Gattuso has been announced as the Italian new head coach, replacing Spalletti. I haven't seen Gattuso. I think last time I was tracking him, he was the coach of Marseille, I believe. I don't know where he's been ever since that. So, uh, and Italy have been a weird team where they've missed the last 2 World Cups and won the Euros in between, like we said last week. So I don't know how to feel for the Italians. Whether that's a great appointment. Who knows? Time will tell. But congrats to Gennaro Gattuso. Shirky, his comments. I saw him play today. And it was okay. I mean, it was his first game uh, for in a new system, in a new team. But his comments about United were funny. I think because United knocked his Lyon team out in the Europa League last season, he has like his eyes on them, and he said he wants to kill them. So stay tuned for the next Manchester Derby. You want to like lock in on that and see if maybe he has. I mean, he definitely has the talent to back his talk, but we'll see if it actually happens in the game. So yeah, it's just giving us another reason to look forward to the Manchester Derby. Personally, for my team, Brahim looks like he's going to sign a new contract. Obviously, a great 12th man off the bench for us. So it would be great for Real Madrid to keep him. I believe they're working on, if not have finalized, Raul Asensio extension as well. We definitely need all the defenders because obviously last season with Alaba's injury, with Rudiger's injury later on in the season, with um, Militao's injury, and no Nacho leaving the team, like we're we were suffering there. So Dean Harrison played today. He played decent, played very well. Obviously comfortable on the ball. Um, but Raheem staying, back to what I was saying, is a huge plus for us. So we don't have to worry about, you know, replacements off the left, and he can play as a 10 as well. So very, it's a Swiss Army knife. And lastly, this is I know Barcelona were interested in Marcus Rashford at one point. Now it's Nico Williams. Not gonna lie, as a Real Madrid fan, I do not want to see that happen. Because obviously a very talented player. In the Nations League final, I thought he was Spain's most dangerous player. Very good on the one-on-one, very direct, can shoot, can assist, can cross, can find a pass. He would definitely fit their system. Be interesting to see what they do with Rafinha because Lamine pushed Rafinha to the right because Lamine was playing on the left. They signed Nico. Would it be a rotation? Would that mean like Rafinha will play as a 10, which he can do? But or would Nico just add depth and embarrassment of riches? All coaches want options. So again, as a Real Madrid fan, I do not like that. But from a Barcelona perspective, picking Nico Williams would be a fantastic addition to their already very good team. Um, so yeah, so that's a quick recap on the last week with transfers and obviously the Club World Cup and where are they now segment sprinkled in there. In the next segment, I'm going to take you through the deep dive of the Real Madrid versus Al Hilal game, Xabi Alonso's first ever game, um, and try and break down what to expect from Real Madrid going forward. So I'll take a quick break and I'll be right back. And I'm back. Welcome back. Um, Again, thanks for sticking with us. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share, please, to support the channel. This is the IQ deep dive segment, and the game I'll be diving deep into is the Real Madrid versus Al Hilal's game. Xabi Alonso's first ever game as a Real Madrid manager. So trying to see what to expect. Maybe I know he made comments about the towards the end of the tournament, Real Madrid will be better than the beginning, which makes sense. Obviously, the first competitive game as a Real Madrid coach, so things will not be perfect. But to break down what both teams are trying to do, they're both playing in a 4-3-3 different styles. Real Madrid are playing more a 4-2-1-3, and Al Hilal are playing more 4-1-4-1. Real Madrid specifically played Vinny on the left. Let's use number 7 for Vinny. Rodrigo on the right. They started with Fran Garcia, Dean Howson, Raul Asensio, and Trent Alexander-Arnold, his debut for Real Madrid. They played Valverde and Tchouameni holding, Jude as the 10, Gonzalo as the forward, Vinny on the left, and Rodrigo on the right. Like, the whole idea in for Real Madrid is for Trent to invert and join and make a box like this, and isolating isolating Rodrigo on the right, and have Aldasari on the left, where who to pick up to either to press Trent, stay with Valverde, or double up with Rodrigo, which he kind of did a variation of all of them. To be fair to him, you mostly remember him from the World Cup for Saudi Arabia. His own scored that amazing goal against uh, Argentina. Um, And again, this is what Jude obviously has the license. He was operating around that inside left area. Uh, a lot of passes to Vinicius for 1v1 against Cancelo, their left back. Um, and Chouameni, who I thought was class in the when he was playing as the DM. Every time he plays as a central defensive midfielder, his preferred position, he just shows why he was bought to Madrid for 80 million. Like he's just a top player. Um, Trent on his debut, just quick word on his debut, he looked decent on the ball. A few misplaced passes here and there to be understood. I don't think he had started the game in a minute or if any. So it looked a little rusty, but the thing that again has was scaring me before he signed or when we're linked to him was 1v1. He wasn't really beaten per se, but he had some instances where his runners were running off him. But I'll say this: he had some very, very good interceptions for Real Madrid's first goal. He started with him intercepting the ball and playing it to Gonzalo, who did fantastic to link up with Vinny, then Valverde, then Rodrigo, then back to Gonzalo for the lucky finish. But so he had some interceptions in him, but positioning see like I want to give him some time because of it's just his first game and his first start in a minute. But positioning is the thing that everyone else feared. And like I always say, as a Real Madrid fullback, you will find yourself 1v1 a lot. So Trent will have to like improve in that department. But decent enough start for him. For Al Hilal, again, who have been their new coaches, Simone Inzaghi. What they were doing, first of all, they looked. Real Madrid were trying to press like early, but they that I mean, I think Courtois said there's Ancelotti's symptoms are still all over this team. So the first game still showed that, but the press didn't last long because they looked gassed. They're not used to it. So you could see that they were very, very rusty and it wasn't as effective. Apart from the first maybe 5 minutes, maybe it wasn't as effective. But I did notice the effort everybody was trying to make into running. I did notice that. But for Al Hilal, they were very direct. They were playing on the right side, so on Frank Garcia's side, they were playing Milinkovic Savic, Sergey Milinkovic Savic, long balls in the air, and he was winning the flick-ons and like just causing Frank Garcia a lot of trouble. I think he was losing every duel, even against he won obviously all his duels against Frank Garcia pretty much. He won duels against Dean Harrison. He won duels against Chouameni. He was just dominant in the air. So on the right side, that's what they're doing. On the left side with Dalsari, there was a lot of combination play with their striker. So he obviously Dalsari is very very comfortable with the ball, very shifty. He has some shots. He created some chances. He was very 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 dangerous. And obviously with Ruben Neves sitting, and again back to where are they now? Cancelo is is their right back, and Renan Lodi is their left back in Al Hilal. I'm like, yeah, only I think about only three of the starting 11 were actually Saudi players. The rest were like European players from Bono to. When I say European players that have European experience, from Bono um, to Cancelo to Koulibaly to Renan Lodi, Ruben Neves, Sergei Milinkovic Savic, like it was just all pretty much names that you would know. But that's what um, Al Hilal were trying to do. Just combination on the left with Al Dasari and long ball flick-ons on the right with Sergei Milinkovic Savic. And in the second half, what was interesting is they took out Asensio and brought in Arda and Chouameni went back into center back. And I know that he's not happy with that. I mean, you buy a new center back and you still have to play center back. I mean, he's a victim of his own talent. I think because he can play decent enough there and obviously very good on the ball. So that's why I think Ancelotti used him there, and that's why probably Javi Alonso was using him there. One thing that I kind of predicted would happen was Valverde playing the right side of the midfield just to cover for Trent. For the most part, it happened a lot in the first half where it's covering for Trent, and also a few times Tchouameni was also covering for Trent when Trent went forward. But when they did the change and Adagula came in, so it was more Valverde holding Angulo as the eight on the right side, and Jude still playing this inside channel on the left. Um, and even when Rodrigo came out for Brahim's, all those things stayed the same. But when they made that change on the ball, Frank Garcia didn't go forward. Dean Houston and Tchouameni stayed as a back three. And before Trent went out, they played like a a three box three formation, like so with uh, Trent coming in, right here, and Adagula, no, sorry, Valverde building from the back, Adagula here, and Jude here, then Rodrigo, Gonzalo, and Vinny. Um, but that didn't last too long, and they went back to their traditional four when Lucas Vasquez came. And in the second half, it was more again. Al Hilal looked like they just looked sharper. I don't know whether maybe because they're used to playing in heat and Real Madrid is not. I don't think that's an excuse to be honest. But they just looked sharper and they're trying to play off the counter. You can tell like they were well coached. Of course, Simone Inzaghi is their coach, so you could see his imprint on the team. Um, and I mean, it was a well deserved draw for them. I know Real Madrid had a penalty miss in the last minute that Valverde could have won it for us, but I think 1-1 was a very fair result, and I'm hoping to see a better performance from Real Madrid next game as the tournament progresses. So it'll be good to see the different variations of Xavi Alonso's ideas. I know he mentioned that he wants all his team to run a lot. There was no Mbappe today. Probably maybe next game he'll be playing, but again, as the tournament goes on, we'll see the Real Madrid that shows up. So I mean, not a great performance, but not horrible. Nothing to like, yell about, scream about. Trent was gassed. No Mbappe. Vinny's playing with discomfort. Just I think they'll be. I think as the time goes on, they'll be better. And yeah, that was the IQ deep dive. Let me know what you guys thought, what you guys agreed or disagreed with, and what you guys saw as well in the game. I'll be looking forward to hearing your thoughts or reading your thoughts, I should say. I should go to IQ finish of the week. I mentioned earlier about Luis Araujo, former Atlanta United player for Flamengo, scored a beautiful goal, beautiful assist by Jorginho, and a nice little curler finish, Lamine Yamal esque, dare I say. It was a decent goal. I think it was a decent shout, but my IQ goal of the week has to be Miguel Merentiel for Boca Juniors against Benfica. Beautiful goal. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I mean, I think I like it because of the build up. Long ball, flick on, 1v1 on the left, nutmegs his defenders, plays a lovely, enticing, low driven cross into the box. Striker steals a yard on his defender and just taps it in. It's nice. It's a footballer's goal. Like I think the build up was nice. So that's my IQ finish of the week. Let me know what and if you saw any better goals than that in the Club World Cup or in any game that you've seen in the last week. I'll be curious to see what you guys think. IQ player of the week is my capitan, Sergio Ramos, at 39 years old. I mean, all these 39-year-old ballers. We saw Ronaldo. Obviously, he looked like 39 at the last in the Nations League. We've seen Modric obviously the whole season. I had a brief cameo today. Sergio Ramos still, I mean, he played 90 minutes against Champions League finalist and scored and was the man of the match of the game. And I mean, just he keeps he's like fine wine. It's just the performance level is just maybe even better. Who knows? But shout out to Sergio Ramos, man. It was class. Special like honorable mention to Thiago Silva, who was also class for Fluminense, against Dortmund. But I think because of the goal and the performance itself, I think Sergio Ramos just edges it for me as the IQ player. And upcoming fixtures, I mean, obviously, all the club World Cup is still going on. Just to highlight a couple games in the next week that I predict will be pretty huge. PSG Botafogo, obviously PSG reigning Champions League winners and quadruple winners against Botafogo. All these South American teams, I'm telling you, man, they play with intensity, with skill, with flair, with heart. So I think it'll be a good game to watch. Bayern Boca for the same reasons. River Plate and Monterrey, again, same reason: intensity, skill, flair, personality. I think all that will be present in these games. Um, and of course, River Plate. I want to see the new Real Madrid player Mastantuno against the Real Madrid legend Sergio Ramos. Inter River Plate is also a game that I think will be very very interesting to keep an eye out. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this, if the episode, Nelson went to see Chelsea play LAFC in Atlanta. I'll be going to watch Real Madrid play Pachuca in Charlotte, and that will be my first ever competitive Real Madrid game to watch, and I am pumped, pumped to see these guys play live. So I'll get some footage and share on the next episode. So I'm looking forward to that. So obviously by default, that's another game I'm looking forward to because I'll actually be there. But yeah, um, that's it. I think again, I'll say it again. I think the Club World Cup has been better than what I thought it would be. And I think it will just keep getting better and better. I just don't wish any injuries on anyone. I pray for the safety of all the players because they've been playing. Most of them have been playing a lot of games this season. But looking forward to as the tournament progressing and beautiful football being played and people getting used to the weather and I think the best is yet to come in this tournament. And yeah, thank you again for watching this episode, for watching all the episodes. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. We appreciate your support thus far, and I'll catch you next week. Peace.